pain until the thalamus connects with the sensory cortex, which happens at 27 weeks.
No, it happens around 12 weeks.
So this college student is right. Charlie Kirk is lying. They're basically, he's done this with other people, but you know, Charlie Kirk tries to claim that at like 4 weeks, the cells feel pain. And what this student is trying to tell him is, no, because the nerve endings and the peripheral nerves, in order to feel pain, they have to be connected to the brain, which means they have to go through the spinal cord in order to get to the brain. Then it would be something that feels pain. But Charlie, he's just gonna lie. He has so much, Turning Point has so much power right now. People, if you're truly a Maga supporter, you should not support them anymore. I'd like to see that happen, because even if you don't care that women's rights would be taken over or taken away under Charlie Kirk, you should care if you have daughters. Because his vision will lead to more, even though he won't come out and say it, he believes there's a gray line with removing consent, okay? But then add to that he wants a national abortion ban, and then just how disrespectful he is to women. And then the reason I put up my previous video about that Forrest Fries, who died in 2021, is he was the initial backer. I looked up, Charlie Kirk has never worked a hard days in his life. He hasn't. I think it was Forrest Fries, because there was something mentioned about he loved what a good speaker he was. And at 18, they just, they got a hold of him. So he's been backed by big money, and Forrest Fries and Bill Montgomery, who was like a marketing representative who was a politician at one point, they were tied to the Koch brothers, okay? So he's, every dime he's earned, he hasn't earned, he's just been given. So that's the reason why he's pompous and arrogant. Normally that statement by Forrest Fries that doesn't upset me so much as his statement, because you have to think about it. He was 81 when he died in 2021 or something like that. So it was his time period. He saw it, was different. But the reason I put it up is because look at what the result is, though, because it's much worse with that far right, how they see women, because look at Charlie Kirk. I've watched enough of these. Anybody that does, it's so blatantly obvious, especially this time around. Like the first time he was going to the campuses, he was somewhat more humble. Now there's a big difference. Like even guys that come up and disagree with him, he gives them he gives all the guys respect, but the women, he can't even look at them most of the time. And he seems to have some twitching disorder too. I don't know. If you watch him long enough, he does stuff like that. It's weird. At first I thought, is he sucking on something sour and that's why he's but it seems, which, whatever, maybe he has Tourette's but I'm not trying to bash him for that, but he doesn't look at women. He's he any chance he can get, he goes after them. But what he does do with everybody is he lies about all the statistics, and all he's interested in is because look, what they're doing is using MAGA. That's what he's doing. This far right, again, no different than the far left. They're using MAGA. And the scary thing about it, even if you think, it would never get to the point where women's rights were taken away. Well, look at where it's gotten already for everybody's rights. So and these people they've all infiltrated into the church. Because again, so the other people that do this debating with these kids is Michael Knowles, somebody I bring up. He does it, he pushes the same narrative Charlie Kirk does. He's a Roman Catholic. Glenn Beck is one. Glenn Beck's the only one that doesn't do the debating with the kids, but he's all on board with the same narrative they are. Allie Beth Stuckey, she's a Protestant. And then, who's the other one? Somebody else. I guess it would be Charlie Kirk. Yeah, Charlie Kirk. So, and he's an evangelical. And all of those, except for the Roman Catholic Church isn't in it isn't part of the Baptist convention, Southern Baptist convention, but the Protestant most of they all, evangelical Baptist and the Protestant is part of that. At least the Protestant and the Baptists are, and then the evangelicals, they all push, and the Roman Catholic Church all push the same doctrine. So they've done this on purpose. That's why they've been lying about when life begins. That's why Charlie Kirk will constantly say, well, let's just take religion out of it. Let's just go with what the science says. So that's why you know that God says the opposite than the science, because science never goes with what God says. It doesn't. That's why I said the science does not align with God's word, because they're always trying to mock God. But it's all over the Bible, as I said, when life begins. So all of these churches, these big major denominations, have lied. And it's because they have been infiltrating these people in. But I read all this stuff in the JFK files, so this stuff's been going on for a long time. They're just better at it now. So Turning Point has a lot of power, and it's not good Republic. Like, even if you think, well, I would rather have the far right. No, you don't. You don't. You don't want either. They're both bad. But if you think it just would never get that, no, it would. And even if you don't care about women, that are your age, if you have children or grandchildren that are girls, then you should care. Quit supporting Turning Point. He's pulled so many of these college kids in, and he's lying. He lied to a girl the other day who was telling him statistics about assault and rape against women, and he said, no, if that was true, we would be like the Congo. But she was right. It's like 1 in 5. So they don't care. They do not care. At this point, he does not care. He will lie. He will say whatever he has to. And he will continue to act like that he's a big supporter of Donald Trump. And I believe, with my life, I would bet my life on this, that Donald Trump knows what a bullshitter he is. He does. Here's the other thing I started which is bothersome to me, is how much they're hiding his family, his parents. That's concerning to me. Like, I get that you have a right to your parents have a right to privacy, but when you're going on the campuses like this and you have this much power, I feel like, no, we should know a little bit more about your background, and they're hiding it, which means, if they're hiding it for a reason. So the thing is, they say that his dad is an architect and that he did some work on Trump Tower. The thing is, Trump, I looked at his archive tweets. He's never mentioned Robert Kirk. He's mentioned Charlie Kirk. He has promoted Kirk. But again, he's promoted a lot of these people that have fallen in the past too. So, spotlighting them. But he's not, you'd think that he would have mentioned his dad, he never has. So, I don't know if that's just, the internet is really protecting him, but I did come across, because everything I was coming across about his mom, who's the one they really have been hiding, and like a few days ago it said that her name is Christina Kirk and she was a mental health counselor. Well, no, so I tried researching, going a different avenue, and his mom is Angela Kirk. She was COO for the Chicago Board of Trade at one point. So probably globalist. Is that true? I don't know, but that makes more sense. But the attack, they're protecting him, which that's just unnerving too. Because the fact that they would protect him like that means, I can't even find a picture of his mother. That means that they have something to hide. So he's just really going full in, because look, they already have these people in position. They're just riding out Trump's 4 years, and they're going to make their move. They're already making their move. They're just using MAGA to do it. If you're truly a MAGA supporter, stop supporting Turning Point. Because if you have children that are girls, or you have grandchildren that are girls, or you expect to have children or grandchildren that may possibly be female, you do not want the vision. I mean, there's even people talking about Charlie Kirk running for president one day. You don't want, believe me, you don't. You don't. I already did a video about what his world vision, what the America vision would look like. The the opposite of MAGA.